All right, for our next problem, we have to solve for the values of a and b so that f of x is continuous. So we have three different situations here. We have x squared minus 1 all over x minus 1 in the case that x is less than 1. Our next one, we have a of x squared minus bx plus 3 where 1 is less than or greater to x, but x is less than 2. Lastly, we have 2x minus a plus b, where x is greater than or equal to 2. So now the best way to approach this is by finding the left and right limits of the values given, which is 1 and 2. So let's start with that. The limit of x approaching 1. So for this one, we are going to put it in the first equation given. So the best way to do this is expand on the numerator. We're going to have x minus 1, x plus 1 over x minus 1. And we'll notice that some things can cancel out. So we'll cancel these two out. So now we have x plus 1. We're going to put 1 in for x, so we'll have 1 plus 1 equals 2. Let's do our next limit. Limit of x approaching 1. Now for this one, we are going to use the second problem. So we are going to have a times 1 squared minus b times 1 plus 3. What does this get us? Well, 1 squared is 1. So we're going to end up with a minus b plus 3. And now we are going to equal this to our value of 2 from earlier. So now equals 2. And what we're going to want to do is keep all the variables on one side and move the consonants to another. So we're going to have a minus b. And what is 2 minus 3? We get negative 1. So this is going to be our first equation. Let me just star this so we can come back to it for later. That is equation number 1. Let's go down a little bit. So now we're going to do the same thing, but for the limits of x approaching 2 from the left and right limit. So in this instance, let's go back up. We are going to be using the second equation again. So let's go back down. We're going to write it as a times 2 squared minus b times 2 plus 3. 2 squared equals 4. So we're going to have 4a, and then 2 times b, we're going to have minus 2b plus 3. All right, now we're going to go to our next limit. Limit of x approaching 2. And we're going to put this into the last equation given, which is 2x minus a plus b. So let's do that. We're going to have 2 times 2 minus a plus b. 2 times 2 is 4. So we're going to have 4 minus a plus b. So now, similar to what we did up here for the left and right limit of the value of 1, we are going to equate what we have so far. So we get one full equation. So we're going to do 4a minus 2b plus 3 equals 4 minus a plus b. Similar to before, we want the variables all on one side and the consonants all on one side. So the best way to do that, let's add a to the left side. So now we have 5a. We're going to subtract b from the right side. So now we're going to have minus 3b. And now we're going to have to do minus 3 from the left side from 4, which gives us positive 1. So let me star this now, because this is our second equation. 5a minus 3b equals 1. And our first equation, a minus b equals negative 1. So let's go down. So now we're going to stack these equations on top of each other. So what we're going to do is elimination. So I'm going to start off with, let's switch colors so we can see the difference. I'm going to multiply this by negative 1 and this by positive 3. What I want to do is eliminate the variable b first. So I'm going to write this out as negative 5a plus 3b equals equals negative 1. Multiply the second equation by 3. We're going to have 3a minus 3b equals negative 3. B values canceled out. Now we have negative 5 plus 3 gives us negative 2a. Negative 1 plus negative 3, or negative 1 minus 3 gives us negative 4. I'm going to divide all of this over negative 2 for our value of a, which is going to be positive 2. So now we found our first value for a, where f of x is continuous. I'm going to highlight that real quick. All right, now all we have to do is substitute a in one of these two equations, and we will have b. So I'm going to do it in the first equation, so I'm going to write it off here to the side. Negative 5 times 2 plus 3b equals negative 1. So now we have negative 10 plus 3b equals negative 1. We're going to eliminate 10 from the left side by adding it to the right side. So negative 1 plus 10 gives us positive 9. So now we have 3b equals 9. If we divide it all over positive 3, our b value ends up being positive 3. So now we have found the values of a and b where f of x is continuous. So a equals 2, b equals 3.